I've been investing in crypto for the past 6 years, and here's the truth. A lot of what people believe about investing in crypto just isn't accurate. So in this video, I'm going to share some crucial lessons I've learned the hard way through my own mistakes, along with the lessons I've learned from running this YouTube channel and seeing the same mistakes made by thousands of other people on my channel. These are all lessons you can implement starting today to instantly feel more confident investing in crypto and put yourself in a better position to make more money, no matter if the market is going up or down. And this isn't some ChatGPT slop. These are lessons you can really only learn by having skin in the game over time. Okay, the first lesson I learned cost me $400,000 because that's how much money I missed out on. Back in 2021, there was a massive crypto bull run. Literally almost anything you bought would go up in value. Anyways, I put a few $1,000s into this project thinking it would go up, and it did. By the end of the year, my few $1,000s turned into $400,000, and this is where I made the mistake of getting greedy. I assumed the price would keep going up, so I held on to it. For a while, it stayed steady, but then it started to dip, but I just convinced myself it was normal volatility, so I held it even longer. Then it dipped some more, and then some more. Eventually, it fell all the way back down to the price I originally bought it for, and that's the moment I decided to sell, because by then the emotional toll of watching my investment grow to $400,000 and then watching it all disappear right in front of my eyes left a sour taste in my mouth that I wanted nothing to do with, not because it was a bad project, but because I made bad decisions. So take it from me, never feel bad about taking profits, and never assume your investment will keep going up forever, because you'll feel a whole lot worse watching your profits disappear and ending up at break even or even losing more money than you ever will taking profits. After losing $400,000 on paper, I realized this second lesson: you don't have to sell everything to make profit. You can have your cake and eat it too. In other words, when my investment was worth $400K, I could have sold just a small portion of it and still let the rest alone. That would have accomplished a few different things. First, at the very least, I could have recouped my initial investment, so I knew for certain I couldn't lose money if it all came crashing down. Second, I could have sold a little more than that and actually locked in a profit while still keeping money invested. And third, after doing both of those things, I'd still have money in the project in case it continued going up in value and made even more money later on. So don't think taking profit means you have to sell everything. If you're still hopeful, there's room for your investment to grow. You can sell a little bit, half of it, however much you want. There's no right number. The point is, you don't have to choose between taking profits and staying invested. You can do both. Now, funny enough, both of those lessons led to this next one. You don't have to exit crypto to take profits. Some people want to take profit but still keep money in crypto for future opportunities. A lot of people think the only way to take profit is to sell their crypto for cash, but that's not true. There are at least 3 ways you can take profits in crypto. Method 1, sell your crypto for cash. If your goal is to simply make money so you can enjoy it in the real world, like pay your bills, buy a house, or buy a car, whatever it may be, that's probably the route you take. Method 2, you could sell crypto for more crypto. Generally, when you take profits, you want to move your money into something that's less volatile so you don't risk losing your profits. That's why a lot of people sell for cash. But if your goal is to stay in crypto and keep investing, you don't have to sell for cash. You can just swap it into a stable coin like USDT or USDC, and these are cryptocurrencies whose value is pegged to the US dollar. So you get to hold a less volatile asset while keeping your money in crypto ready for the next opportunity. And method 3, you can do both. You can take some profits in cash for things like taxes, because you'll probably have to pay those, and keep the rest in a stable coin so you're ready for future opportunities. Okay, this next lesson is crucial regardless of whether you find yourself in an up or down market. Crypto has 2 seasons, and these seasons can help determine if it's time to buy or sell. Season 1 is the bull market. This is when prices are rising, everyone's excited, and it feels like every coin is going up. And season 2, this is the bear market. This is when prices are falling, fear takes over the timeline, and everyone starts saying crypto's dead. Once you identify what season you're in, making smart buy and sell decisions becomes much easier. You generally don't want to sell when everything is down, because that's usually not how you make money, and you don't want to buy after everything has already skyrocketed during the bull market. For example, say you own a tire shop. You're not going to sell snow tires heading into summer. If you tried, hardly anyone would buy them. But if you wait until winter or just before the first big snowstorm, you'll sell a whole lot more. Crypto works in a similar way. There are seasons when it's much easier to make money and seasons when it's much harder. So the goal is simple. Buy when prices are relatively low, hold long enough for your investment to appreciate, and then sell once it's worth more money than what you paid for it. It doesn't need to be any more difficult than that. What can be difficult though is knowing which crypto to buy, and this next lesson helps you decide that. You need to know these 2 terms if you want to win in crypto. Market cap and FDV. Market cap is how you determine the size of a crypto project. You don't determine the size by the token's price. For example, one XRP is worth only a little over $1 right now, but it's one of the biggest cryptocurrency projects in the world because it has the 6th largest market cap. Dogecoin is another good example. One Doge is only worth 7 cents, but it's the 10th largest crypto in the world because of its market cap. But why is this so important to know? Well, ultimately, market cap can help determine how much room a project has left to grow, which really determines how much money you can make by investing in that project. Generally, a lower market cap means the project has more room to grow, while a larger market cap could mean there's less opportunity. For example, it takes a lot more people buying Bitcoin, which has the largest market cap of any crypto, for the price to go up, compared to something like Pepe, which has a much smaller market cap. So if you're more risk tolerant and looking for something that could get you a 50x return on your investment, compared to something more stable that will give you a 5 or 10x return, which is really good, you're more likely to get that from a token with a lower market cap because there's more room to grow. Now, FDV, or fully diluted value, is just as important, and it tells you how many tokens are currently in circulation versus how many could eventually be in circulation. Why does that matter though? Because some projects launch with only a small percentage of their total supply available. So the token can look scarce and valuable at first, but over time, more and more tokens are unlocked and they enter the market. And if those tokens are sold, they create extra selling pressure, which can make it harder for the price to go up. It's like if Ferrari released 100 cars worth $10 million each, but that was only 1% of the number of cars they were eventually going to release, and you didn't know that. So you spent $10 million on a rare Ferrari, and then later they release another 100,000 of the same exact car. Now your $10 million Ferrari is worth $20,000. It's basically the same idea, but with tokens. So you need to know FDV because it gives you an idea of how much new supply could still enter the market in the future. If there's a huge gap between the market cap and the FDV, that's a sign you should take a closer look at the token's unlock schedule before investing. Generally, I like to see the FDV relatively close to the market cap because it means most of the supply is already circulating. That said, the next mistake is believing that the crypto you buy today will still be around 2 to 5 years from now. Odds are it might not be. There are currently over 50 million different crypto tokens you can buy right now, and the vast majority of them will never amount to anything. Many are scams, some have been abandoned, and some simply disappear. This problem stems from the fact that literally anyone can launch a token today using platforms like Pump.fun and claim it's the next big thing. And with enough influencers, bots, or hype, people can make almost any token look like it's going to take off. But more often than not, it's just hype with little or no real value behind it. It reminds me of the dot-com bubble back in 2000. Back then, everyone was excited about websites simply because they were websites. Some companies were valued at billions of dollars despite having no real product. The value came from the hype and speculation. That's where a lot of crypto is today. Will there be projects that survive long term? Absolutely. Will 50 million of them survive? Absolutely not even close. If you're looking for crypto projects that have a better chance of still being around 3 to 5 years from now, a good place to start is CoinMarketCap's top 100. It's not a guaranteed by any means, but it can give you a much better idea of which projects are already established and widely adopted. I'll leave a link down in the description for you if you want to check it out. Now, one place you want to approach with extreme caution when deciding what crypto to buy, which leads us to our next lesson, is social media. Platforms like X, Facebook, and especially YouTube. There are tons of trusted crypto influencers who promote pump and dump projects just to make a quick dollar. And whenever I mention specific influencers, I get a lot of pushback from their fans. So just as a heads up, the influencers I mention have been publicly accused or exposed based on blockchain evidence. By evidence, I mean there is on-chain data and in some cases other supporting evidence, showing certain influencers promoting tokens to their audience while selling those same tokens themselves. Others have also accepted payment to promote certain projects, including projects that later turned out to be scams. These influencers have hundreds of thousands, even millions of followers who have either been publicly exposed for these practices or who have been shown to accept payment to promote certain projects. And just to be clear, these are not my findings or my claims. They come from reputable blockchain investigators and well-known crypto publications. The main takeaway is simple though. Don't buy a crypto just because an influencer with a large following is promoting it. Always do your own research, look beyond YouTube and beyond influencers before putting your hard-earned money into any crypto project. That's also why I tend to stay away from talking about which crypto I'm personally investing in or making price predictions, because I think that kind of stuff should remain private. And I believe that as someone with a little bit of influence, it's irresponsible to make price predictions. That'd be like me telling you, hey, I think tonight's winning Powerball numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody actually knows. Now, this next lesson took me 2 years of being in crypto to learn, but it's arguably the most crucial lesson on this list. When I first started buying crypto, I kept a good chunk of it on exchanges like Coinbase because it was convenient. And I did that for a couple of years without any major issues. But one day I bought a couple $1,000s worth of ETH, and the exchange I'd been using for 2 years straight up froze my funds. Just like that, I couldn't access my crypto, couldn't access what was supposed to be my money. This was a major problem because I needed that crypto that day, not a month later. That was a day I learned that crypto held on exchanges isn't actually your crypto, it's the exchanges. The balance you see in your exchange account is really just the exchange's internal ledger, showing how much crypto they owe you if you decide to withdraw it or sell it. Technically, it's like a digital IOU. And because you don't control the crypto, the exchange has the final say. If they want to freeze your funds, lock your account, or close it, they can. Or if the company's servers go down, which is exactly what happened at Coinbase recently, you might not be able to access your money when you need it most. The same idea applies to crypto ETFs and most crypto IRAs. They give you exposure to crypto, but you don't actually control the underlying assets yourself. And that comes with some pretty big risks. So this is really a two-part lesson. First, if your crypto is sitting on an exchange, you don't actually control it. Second, the only way to actually control your crypto is by controlling the private keys. You do that by moving your crypto to a wallet you control. This is called a self-custodial wallet. The most secure type of self-custodial wallet is a hardware wallet. It's a small device that stores your keys offline in a secure environment. And honestly, they're much easier to use than most people think. This is by far the most impactful lesson I learned over the past 6 years. And it's one I recommend every single person implement the moment they buy their first crypto, or to even get a hardware wallet before buying their first crypto so that they're ready. There's one hardware wallet I've personally used for the past 3 years that I recommend to almost every beginner. And I'll leave a discounted link along with my full step-by-step user guide that shows you exactly how to set it up and send crypto to it down in the description. But only look into hardware wallets if you actually care about owning your money and being in control of it. Otherwise, keep your crypto on an exchange and just accept the risks. Okay, this next lesson is the most frustrating on this list because I still see so many people making this mistake, and oftentimes they don't learn from it, making it virtually impossible to ever make money in crypto. And I'm 100% serious when I say I've worked one-on-one with people who have lost over $100,000 to this exact mistake. And that mistake is losing your crypto before you ever have the chance to make money. And I'll be the first to tell you, crypto is a cesspool. It's full of scammers, hackers, and user error around every corner. But what I found is that a lot of people would actually make more money in crypto if they simply learn how to hold on to it long enough. Because a lot of making money in crypto is just a holding game. If you hold quality projects long enough, they have the opportunity to appreciate in value over time. But the problem I keep seeing is people losing their crypto to scams and hacks, or because they left it sitting on an exchange. So the problem isn't always that people buy the wrong crypto, it's that they never learned how to protect it long enough for it to increase in value. Crypto is an entirely different beast. Since it's all digital and still relatively new, it's a scammers and hackers playground. If you're buying crypto without first learning the basics of how it works, how to secure it, what scams you need to avoid, you're dramatically increasing your chances of losing it. Fortunately, I haven't lost any crypto to scams or hacks over the past 6 years because I took the time to educate myself, but you don't know what you don't know. That's exactly why I put together this complete guide to crypto investing with a huge focus on the fundamentals and security side of crypto. So if you want to avoid the mistakes that cost other people thousands of dollars, I'll meet you over in that next video. God bless. Peace out.